day one was actually uneventful. I'm in a KOA campground. There's my cabin. That is cabin number 3 here. Cabin number 3, if you're not a smoker, you don't want to stay in. It kind of stinks. But it did give me a place to stay last night for $96. That allowed me to make sure the boat didn't get stolen, or the jet skis, which is nice. I'll give the cover a once over, make sure everything's strapped down good, and then I will go find a Home Depot so I can get a cable lock to go either in the wheels of the trailer or between the frame rail of the trailer and the truck frame. Because tonight, I'm going to end up in Pecos, Texas, and I couldn't find a campground with a cabin that anyone would rent me to stay in, so I'm going to chance it and stay in a hotel. And everything kind of loosened up. I drove 600 miles yesterday, which was pretty good because I got a really late start. I didn't end up hitting the road until about 1 p.m. So that worked out good. I'm back on schedule because I have to meet my family in Parker, Arizona on Thursday. And today is Tuesday. So I got about another, let's see, what do I got? Another 1,400 miles, something like that. Which will be fine. We made it. All my stuff smells like smoke, so towels, linens, everything's in the bed of the truck, trying to air it out while I drive today. And yeah, right about now you're going, where's the enclosed trailer? Where's the toter home? Toter home is gone. I used it twice last year and quickly discovered there's not a single comfortable bed in that thing, which was the whole point, was to be able to stay in it, stay places where I didn't have to worry about my stuff getting stolen. So got rid of the toter home. I still have the gooseneck trailer. I just don't have anything to tow it with. So I had a cover made for the boat, and I'm just going to be as careful as I can on this trip, and it'll all work out. I will be getting the roadkill ramp truck back here pretty soon, back into service, and once I have that back into service, then we can figure out a trailer situation to haul things like this, you know, behind the ramp truck, or I don't know, something. We'll figure it out. But for now, the old stock 21 Tundra, which is not really old, it will do the job. Let's go. Thank you, Home Depot. I got locks, I got cables, I got 2 different length cables, 2 different size cables, and this should be good. This should work. Now all I need is a lug nut adapter, so if I get a blowout, I can get the wheels off the trailer. So the last potential disaster, at least the one that I'm aware of, is that all the lug nuts on those golf cart wheels have a spline drive, kind of like a tuner style lug nut, because the wheels are so small, you can't fit a regular lug nut in them, you know, like a 3/4 inch or a 13/16 pattern on it. And I don't know where it went, but I lost it. So although I have spare wheels on the front of this thing, I can't get them off if I have a blowout. So I need to go find a tuner style adapter to fit these lug nuts. I did stop by a wheel shop on my way out of town when I was in a hurry, and I had them checked, so they are tight, which is good, but also not so good because I won't be able to get them off either. But at least now we can stay at a hotel tonight because we have locks, and that's the best you can do. So there we go. Got a cable going through the trailer hitch, through the frame, and locked in the middle. And then tonight, I'll put one through the wheels of the trailer and park at a hotel. Get some good sleep. Without smoke, hopefully. There were these poles in the boat cover. You can see these rings right here and these poles stuck up in there, but as the cover loosened up and, you know, kind of got fitted to the boat, you know, as it went down the road, the poles popped out, so I'm going to extend them up higher because they're adjustable, tighten the cover back down, and then we should be pretty good after that. Cover's working good. Like, you should have seen this bottom of this boat when I towed it back from California to Georgia. The bottom of the boat was hammered, and the top side would have looked like if we didn't have it shrink wrapped for that trip, and it definitely would have looked like that if we didn't have this cover on it for this trip. Let's find our poles. Yep, there's our poles. Lying down there in the bottom of the boat. So we'll stand those up, we'll extend them, and then we'll be good. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not for all the wind, but it is howling here in Texas. Left Shreveport this morning, and I've driven, I don't know, probably about 250 miles. I got another 280 to go. And I'm just outside of Big Spring, Texas. And everything's going pretty good. I don't want to jinx myself, but looks like at least one of the poles are still standing in the cover. Truck's towing good, trailer's working fine, jet skis haven't fallen out yet, which is nice. Yeah, looks like we lost the front pole, but the back pole's still in. That's where the front pole would have been. The back one's still in, so that's good news. I'm gonna stretch my legs here and then get back on the road. Oh, windy in Pecos. All right, boat's still here. Yay! Jet skis are still here, truck's still here. Pecos Roadhouse is still here. Let's see, did about 600 miles last night from Shreveport, Louisiana to Pecos, Texas. Ended up driving via GPS to the wrong part of town. Went 50 miles out of my way to what should have been my hotel, but being a parking lot where a hotel was being built, not an actual hotel, which was weird. And double checked the GPS, and sure enough, I typed in Home 2 Suites, and it took me to the site of a future Home 2 Suites. I had booked online a room at a different Home 2 Suites, 50 miles in a completely different direction. So I was so beat, I didn't end up going back to the actual hotel. I ended up staying at Westminster Plus, which isn't bad. I liked it. It was clean. And more importantly, stuff didn't get ripped off, which is good. So today I will drive from Pecos, Texas, all the way to Tucson, Arizona, maybe Casa Grande, we'll see, which leaves me an easy 200 to 280 mile drive on Thursday into Parker, Arizona, where I will meet my family and start. I'm on vacation, let's be real, I am. But we'll start the boating part of our vacation. Is tight. Still got one pole. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm just gonna accept the fact that 2 poles isn't gonna happen on this deal. Check all the straps just to make sure we're good, and then I already have fuel, so we'll just get going. Mexico is beautiful. I mean, for a desert it is. I do like driving through here. That is a long ass train. Oh, quick break at a rest stop. Oh man. I'm about 270 miles away from my buddy Matt Ringer's place in Casa Grande, Arizona. You guys might remember him. He and his friend Darren were the guys that sold us the Rotson and the Jaguar, and they've bailed us out a bunch of times during roadkill shoots. And I'm gonna go hang out with them this evening, go get some dinner, and then I have a short 200-ish mile drive to Parker, Arizona, where I'll be meeting my lovely wife and kids and having a good-ass time boating on the Colorado River. Just made it out to Cocopelli Trailers here in Casa Grande, Arizona. About to do a little maintenance, little upgrades on the trailer. So far, working perfect. 2,000 miles, one direction. There's Matt. Hi, Matt. Let's see. So I think total we've got about 3,900 miles on the golf cart tires, and they're wearing fine. This is what the bottom of the Daytona looks like. Not bad, actually. The condom is protecting the jet drive, so hopefully no rocks got in that deal. Yep, those are the graphics running under the boat. Pretty sweet. Thank you, Eliminator Boats. We had this front cross member here with these two pads, and the sponsons were resting on that. And it works fine, but I'm worried that over time it's gonna rub the gel coat off the sponsons. So we're replacing that cross member, which sat on top of the frame, with another one that will connect from here back to that cross member, and then it will have another section that goes up to a roller, and the keel of the boat will sit on the roller, and that'll support the nose of the boat instead of supporting it right here. And you can kind of see where the gel coat's getting a little hammered there. So we're gonna do that, and then just service the hubs and stuff, and torque the wheels one more time, and then we'll be out of here. So this is our new center cross member. And it's gonna get brackets here that'll bolt it to the middle cross member, and then a U-bolt front clamps it to the frame. And then somewhere in the middle there is where our keel roller slash V-pad, whatever we end up putting in there, is going to support the bow of the boat and hopefully keep it from bouncing up and down when it goes down the road. But more importantly, we won't have that cross member with the carpeted pads on the side of the sponsons anymore to rub the gel coat, because wifey doesn't want that. Always remember, I'm doing this for you, baby. You. 4 days, 2,200 miles. I don't want to drive anything. I don't even want to drive a boat right now, but I made it. Thanks to everybody that helped get wifey's whip together. She loves it. I do too. Now let's go on vacation. Sensing a pattern here. It's the last day of our vacation, which is right about the time everything falls apart. Let's recap. Had a lot of fun. Wifey loves the boat. She drove it a bunch. And yesterday we went on a 36-mile drive from Parker all the way down to Lost Lake. And alternator belt flew off. It ejected, he left, decided didn't want to be there. And I thought, all right, we got about 10 miles to go, maybe we'll make it, right? And the speed wires switch panel has this handy dandy little voltmeter built into it. So I was looking at that, and we got down to about 11.8 volts. And at the exact moment the motor turned off was also the same moment I developed a fuel leak over here. And so it was actually really good timing. I wasn't bummed about it. All of a sudden we're driving along and I'm like, why am I wet? And I look down on my arm and I'm like, why is the fuel tank spraying at me? And I thought to myself, this isn't good. The side of the boat's filling up with gas. I got people in here. The exhaust is really hot because it's turbocharged. And I thought, okay, I'm going to turn it off and get to shore. and you know the current of the river's flowing like 6 miles an hour, so that's kind of dicey. And as soon as I decided to head for shore, the motor quit. And luckily, my friend Randy towed us 4 miles upriver, and you know, we made it back to the house. No big deal. I'll get a new belt. It's probably going to happen again because the alternator is not quite lined up with the crankshaft. It's sitting ahead of it like 1/8 of an inch, and I don't really have a good way to move it back yet because there's some things that are in the way. So we'll just buy a pair of belts and, you know, cruise today, last day of our trip. Let's see, had some issues with the trailer. The fenders got tacoed. You can see this one right here. They got caught on a boat ramp and just ripped right off the trailer. So right now what I'm doing is cobbling together some temporary steel shelving brackets that I got from the local hardware store with some hardware and some wood I found laying around here at the house, and we'll get these bolted back on as best we can, and we'll probably stop by Coco Pelli trailers on the way back home to get a more permanent solution, because there's only going to be one bolt at each end of each bracket, which means they're going to wobble a little bit, and you don't want to drive, you know, 2,200 miles home like that. So there's where we're at. Fix these this morning, get a new belt, one more day of boating with the fam, and then it's back to Georgia, to reality. Wifey's boat. Like it? See everybody? I told you it was hers.
I drove it.
You drove it like a boss.
It's not really hers.
It's totally hers. It's not my boat.
Well, then I get game over.
I'm gonna go home and work on game over now. And blasphemy. This is hers. That's her boat. Love you, baby.
Love you, love this.
Yeah,
let's go have
game
dinner.
over's my boat now, guys. Boating part of the vacation is over with. Had lots of fun. Broke a few things, nothing major. You know, we lost an alternator belt on the boat, which was no big deal. Fuel leak, water leak, no big deal. managed to mangle the fenders of the trailer, which brought me back to Cocopelli Trailers here in Casa Grande, Arizona on my way home, so we could fix the fenders on the trailer because I have some pretty janky temporary mounts in there. But while we were here, we're like, well, let's re-engineer the front of the trailer to make it a little more user-friendly. We're gonna adjust the bow stop. We're gonna move the winch so the winch is easier to access. We're just gonna make this better. And Matt's kind enough to let me back in here today. And we've got our winch relocated, just need some gussets. And we got our roller under the bow, which is gonna stop the bow of the boat from bouncing up and down. It's going good. And when all that's done, I will head back to Georgia. And as soon as I get home, the very next day, we go film Roadkill, which I'm really looking forward to. Winch relocated, bow stop lowered, roller moved so that everything functions like it should, and more importantly, put new fender braces on this thing so that we no longer have the hardware store L brackets holding everything together. And while we were at it, we moved the steps out so that they're easier to get in and out of the boat. So, much better. I mean, you can hardly tell the fender's kinked over there. A little more hammer work on that, it'll be good. And so I'm out of here. Back to Georgia. $4,400 miles later, back home in Georgia. Stoked. It was a hell of a vacation. Trailer worked good, boat cover worked good. And for those that are wondering, yes, the golf cart tires are just fine. No blowouts, no problems, no abnormal wear. And yeah, through Texas, when the speed limit was 80, I was doing 80.